Richard, today's question is about truth, and it asks, what is truth? What is the nature of truth?
I assume we're speaking here of truth with the capital T, truth that knows no opposite. In my own speaking about truth, I have tended recently away, because of the confusion, from the term God. And having said that, the relevance is that truth and God and reality and consciousness are permutations of the same thing. We use one or other of these terms in a sense to denote something quite specifically, but when we speak of truth with the capital T, we're talking of that which is changeless, that which doesn't die, that which admits no opposite, therefore no conflict. And we are pointing toward the source, which itself is sourceless. In other words, the source from which there is no other, although there is all and everything in the sense of arising forms. We've spoken of this as God for a long time. In these days of conflict, and particularly conflict about God and the terminology, I'm tending towards truth and reality and consciousness, not to align myself with some particular path or other, but simply because it has a certain neutrality or a certain lack of inciting passions, which are often partisan, therefore conflictual, separative and divisive. So truth is another word for God. Truth is the binding of the great tradition of humankind, or the perennial philosophy, which is to say, as far as we can tell, for tens of thousands of years, there has been a search now, a search for something beyond the world of appearances, this domain of light and dark, of time and space, of life and death, of course. And it seems, as far as we can tell, that death itself and life and the prolongation of life and the mysteries contained therein have been perennially a motivation for asking the deeper questions. What is deathless? What is changeless? Is there anything beyond this world of apparent arising forms, that the realm in which things are born and in which things die? Could there be anything else beyond the material? And we struggle to speak of, to contain, and in any way describe the mystery, for the simple reason, the mystery, this mystery of truth, this mystery of that which is immaterial, which is invisible, which is beyond the world of form, beyond the world of form and formless, is itself indescribable. You do ultimately reside in the mystery. You ultimately devote yourself, your spirit, your soul, in some way, in some spiritual path, spiritual discipline and method of practice, to the mystery of truth, the mystery of reality, capital R, the mystery of consciousness, or of God. So here is truth, the indescribable, perhaps too many words to speak of something which is essentially unspeakable. But many times you know, I've written some books now, and many times, and I remember memorably in The Flight of Consciousness, my first published work, that at the end I came to this, it seemed a fitting end. I came to this, not conclusion as such, but this statement that it was, what we have to speak of is unspeakable, it is indescribable, and ultimately that is all we can say. And yet, you see, to connect and to just for the joy, really, just for the joy of the imperfect description, we carry on speaking of truth, because another word for truth is love, and another word for love is what we are, and it's a way in which we can reach out to each other and we can connect.